Okay, so good evening, everyone. So we will be discussing about the ECS3304 module. Module which is on mobile app development. Mobile app development. So this is the starting lecture. So therefore, I will give a small introduction about what this module will be covering and the content that will be covered in this module. So this module will basically focus on developing mobile applications, designing and developing mobile applications. So apart from that, we will focus on other, things related to the theory of mobile app development. So anyway, we will focus on designing and developing mobile applications. So when we are reaching this goal, we will be learning about uh, main things, so such as we'll be learning about the following things. So basically the overview of what we'll be covering will be we'll be learning about the characteristics of mobile applications, the characteristics of mobile applications. We'll be focusing then about the history of mobile application development, history of mobile application development. Next, we'll be focusing on about overview of the Android framework. So overview of Android framework. So Android is one of the operating systems that we can use for the mobile app development. However, we also have other operating systems such as iOS, which are also widely used, especially in Apple phones. So we'll be focusing on Android first, and we'll be talking about that. And then we will discuss about the iOS operating system as well. Then we also have to talk about the application models of mobile application frameworks, or the application models of mobile app frameworks. Sorry. We will also then talk about the user interface design. User interface design. User interface design for mobile applications. Okay, so user interface design, or we call as UI design. Then we will talk about how we can manage the application data. how we can manage the application data, and how we can integrate that with cloud service. So it is very important title. So we need to manage our application data. We need to, store the data appropriately, and then we have to upload our data from our mobile applications up to the cloud servers. So we can integrate, applications such as Firebase, for example, into our mobile application, such that we can directly upload our data to the cloud-based servers. Right, so we can talk about how we can integrate applications such as Firebase into our mobile application data, so that we can send our data to the cloud directly and observe our data in the cloud. Then we also will be discussing about how the performance of the how we can manage the performance of our application. So we need to consider the performance of our application based on the customer requirements, right? Performance based on the customer requirement. Performance based on customer requirements have to be considered. So in there, the customer requirements must be taken into consideration and focused. We need to consider the, I mean, the uh, the kind of the ability of the app to work according to the specified efficiency that is required from the app. So the amount of errors must be reduced. The flexibility of navigating must be, available. So we need to create apps which are very I would say, like very flexible to be used, and the average run times must be very low. I mean, it should be working very efficiently, and the runtime can be reduced, and we can have quick boot ups, and we can have fast response from the app. So different we expect different performance, or we expect performance from our mobile applications. So we expect fast responses from our applications, and reduced delay therefore, and reduced complexity, and also we expect our app to provide security, also scalability. Okay, so we require our apps to be scalable and used in many of the devices as much as possible. So our app must be able to integrate with different systems, different phones, for example, and it should be able to run on all those different phones. So we are concentrating about such kind of performances. We concentrate about the runtime, like how much of runtime it takes for a process to run in the application. And then we also want fast responses from our application. We need reduced, delay. and we need less complex mobile applications that can run really smooth with less resources. And then we also require high security for our data in the application. And then we also need scalability aspect of our mobile applications, such that our application can be integrated in different types of devices across the market, and then it can be easily used by those different device users. So we then come to the last objective, where we will be discussing about the testing of our applications, and where we will be testing, and then we will be debugging. And then we also will be deploying our application, and then we will be testing its performance after deploying. We will be managing and we will be maintaining our application. Okay, so we will be maintaining our application after deploying it. So basically, these are the objectives that we are trying to achieve in this module. And I hope that you got some kind of idea about what we will be focusing on in this module. So starting off with the mobile applications and their characteristics, we'll be discussing about what is a mobile application first. So mobile apps or mobile app is a software program that is specifically designed to be installed on uh, installed and run on mobile devices such as smartphones, tablets, wearable devices, so on, wearable watches, etc. So basically, mobile applications are software programs that have been specifically designed to be installed and run on mobile devices. So what is mobile application development? What is mobile application development? It is the process of developing mobile applications or softwares process of making mobile apps or the process of making software that can be installed in those devices, right? Process of making software for mobile devices. So the process of making software for mobile devices we call as mobile app development. And then what is the difference, or what are the different types of mobile applications that are available, and what is the difference between a mobile application and a web app. So we will learn about that in the next instance. So basically, we can divide the mobile apps into three types. We can divide the mobile apps into three categories. We can divide them as, so actually, yeah, types of mobile apps. We can divide them as native apps, web apps, and then we have hybrid apps. Right? So what are native apps? So basically, native apps are applications or software programs that can be installed on the device itself. However, when we consider the web applications, we do not require to install them on the device itself. We can use it without installing on the device. So no need to install on the device. Hybrid apps is something we will talk about later. We will first learn about native apps and web apps. So native apps are apps which we install on the device itself, on the mobile device itself, and we use those apps in the device. Whereas in web apps, we do not need to install any app on the device. We will reach the resources that are available in the web URL, and then we will access that resource using the web browser, right? So the difference between the native apps and the web apps is that in native apps we have all the resources in the device itself. So therefore, like the native apps heavily rely on the device specific features. Whereas web applications do not rely on the features of the device. Yeah, it does not rely on the device specific features. Right? So that is mainly the main difference between the native apps and the web apps. So what we can say is that in native apps, we rely too much or heavily on the device's features, such as, for example, camera, GPS sensor, accelerometer, any kind of sensor in the device. However, in the web applications, we do not require such data from the device. We need to access the browser and get the data from the web browser. So in web apps, we do not need to rely on the mobile devices specific features. So that is basically regarding the web app and the native app. And the native apps are most of the time developed using programming languages such as Java, developed using programming languages such as Java, Kotlin, Objective C, Swift languages. So these are some of the languages that are mainly used to develop apps using the apps on the device itself. However, we are working and on developing the web applications. We need to use uh, development languages such as, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and so on. So these are the languages that are used in the web application development. So these are the languages that are mainly used in web app development. And then when we talk about the hybrid apps, hybrid means it is a combination of both the native and the web application features. Okay, so it is a combination of native and web application features, and therefore it is an app that uses both the resources in the web browsers and also the device specific features. So when we talk about this hybrid app, there's no necessity to install on the device. Uh, we can use it using web browser itself, right? We can decide whether we install it on the device or not, right? The installment is not necessary, although you can also install it. You can choose whether you want to install or not. So basically, you can access the app via the web browser, right? We can access the app via the web browser. And then we also rely on the we rely on both the web browser and the device specific features in this application type. And device specific features in this application type. Right? We rely on both the devices features and web browser data when we are using these kind of apps. So what are the apps that are in that we can give as examples to all these types of apps? So when we consider native apps, we can consider examples for native apps. So I will erase this part. So there are many examples that we can consider for native apps. So one of the examples is uh, the camera app, which works with the help of the device specific features, right? And then we also have like games, right? The complex games that we install in our phone, right? The complex games, like we have like games like Candy Crush and other types of games. Once we install in the device will use the resources in the device specific features, and then it will use those resources to run these applications. So complex games can be run on those smartphones with the necessary graphical, resources and graphical features, and those kind of graphical features are required to play these kind of applications. When we consider the web application in there also, we can actually consider applications that directly rely on the uh, dire- directly rely on the usage of internet. For example, we can access Facebook using the web browser. We can access Netflix using the web browser. Likewise, we can access resources on the internet using the different web browsers, and we can obtain services from them. So whatever the application that has a certain, whatever the software that that has a URL, then such applications can be accessed using this using their link, and then we can obtain the information from the directly from the web browser. So by accessing the web browser, we can take the service. So such instances are known as such applications are known as web applications. So there are many web applications such as Facebook, Netflix. We can go to Amazon, likewise, etc. We can go and we can see many such kind of applications are available in the web browser. Once we browse in the internet, we can access these applications. When we go then when we discuss about the hybrid apps, we can see the combination of the native apps and the web application. So what are the applications that normally use the hybrid feature? So as for examples, we can consider examples such as e-commerce applications, right? Where we have the access to like e-commerce applications where we have access to the internal device data and the user specific data. So it uses both the resources in the website or the web servers. It uses the resources in the web server. It uses the resources in the device level. So another most important application for this hybrid could be the Google Maps. Google Maps and the Google Maps use both the internet or the mobile data connection to show us the optimal path to a certain destination, and that optimal path is obtained by using mobile data or internet. And we also have GPS sensors installed in the device, in the mobile device. So using the GPS sensor data, we can locate and pinpoint the current location of the device. So so since this Google Maps app has both inputs from the internet and the GPS sensor, it is considered as a hybrid app. I hope it is clear to you. So that is basically regarding the comparison of the different types of apps that are available for us to use. So